Hello and welcome to a new Zanda video tutorial. Irina here, the product and community specialist with the marketing team here at Zanda. In this tutorial, I will show you how to add new user profiles to your Zanda account. Every person with access to your Zanda account will need to have their own user profile. This will allow them to securely access your Zanda account using their own email address and unique password, and it is also possible to set up a two-factor authentication to create an additional level of security. So to create a new user profile, you need to be a master user or the owner of a Zanda account, or to be a user with a specific level of permission of accessing the settings menu of Zanda. Click Settings, and the Settings springboard will open. So on the Settings springboard, go to the Team category and click Users. The User Management Settings page will open. Here you will see the list of already existing user profiles. The top one will be the master user, the person with access to all the settings of the account. And now we will need to create a new user profile. To do that, we will click Add New User. The new user settings page will open and we will fill out all the fields as necessary. In the name field, we will enter the first and last name of the person. And in the email, we will enter the email address of this person. This email address will be used as a username when this person will log in. Next, if this person is a practitioner in your Zanda account, we will link their user profile with their practitioner profile. It's done here, and we'll just select their practitioner profile you have created for them. And then we will also select the access level of this user. It's either administrative or clinical. In this case, we are creating the profile for the practitioner, so we will select the clinical level of access. If you are creating a user profile for an admin person, for a receptionist, for an accountant, for a practice manager, you can not link them with any practitioner, and you just select an admin level of access. I'll just switch that back to the practitioner level and select the clinical level of access. So next, we will select the permissions for this practitioner. We now have a lot of different levels of permissions, and if you are not sure what they do, just hover over the name of each permission, and you will see the tooltip that explains what each permission does. And also we have detailed knowledge base article that explains each permission in detail. For example, let me briefly enable some permissions that are necessary for practitioners. So for example, enabling the people menu will allow a practitioner access to client profiles, for example, to see the client details page. Then they may need access to edit appointments. If, for example, they want to change an appointment flag, appointment status, or appointment location. They may also need a permission to draft session notes. Without that permission, they may only save a note as completed without being able to draft it. They may also need your permission to edit invoice charges on appointments, or you may set this task aside for your admin team. So it's up to you. Go through each permission and define the level of access, a level of permissions for your users. So now that you have added their user details, enabled the permissions that are necessary for this user to perform their job, the next step will be to send an invitation email to this user. So we will click this button and the invitation email will be sent to this user. The email will go to the email address you have entered as the user as their username here. This user will receive an email, and that email will have the link that they will need to click to set up their password. After that, the user registration will be completed and that user will be able to access your Zanda account with their login details. So after an invitation email was sent to the user and the user have received it, set up their password, the user registration has been completed. When we go to the settings and settings, team, users, pathway, and have a look at the user management page, we can now see which users have accepted the invitation and completed the registration and which have not. We just need to have a look at the list of our users, and we will see that the registered users just have their name listed, and the users that have received the invitation but haven't completed registration yet have the status invited listed here. So let's have a look at our user we just registered, Matt, and if we click on his name, and we will open the registration page, and we will see that it has changed slightly. If we scroll down, we don't see the option to send an invitation email anymore. We just see the option to save. This is just in case we have edited some of the settings, like add, for example, more permissions. We can do that at any time and save that. What else we can do? We can help this user to reset their password. You can also require to enable two-factor authentication. All you need to do is enable this switch here and save this change. What happens? Next time Matt logs into their account, they will be requested by the system to finish setting up two-factor authentication. Now that we have added a new user to our list of users, let me show you some more information about how to manage users in your account. Now we're still on the user management page, and let me show you what information you can see when you are on this page. Well, first of all, you can see the list of user profiles that are already there and that are active. So as I said before, the first user on this list is the master user. If you click on it, you will see that it says that it's a master user and they have all the permissions in this account. They can manage everything. So it's only the master user can edit their account. I'm not the master user here and I cannot make any changes to this list. So I'll just click back to go back to the list of all the users here. If I enable this switch here at the top right, showing active users, if I enable this, the system will show me the list that users that were created before and they have been deactivated. So that's a historic record, and it will show me what users have been there before. And if need be, I can make them active again. For example, if somebody returns to work in your practice, and you can just enable their profile and give them access to your account again. So we can just turn this off back and return to the list of just active users. Without accessing the profile, you can quickly see what permissions have been enabled for this practitioner. Sorry, for this user. It can be all of the permissions or just some of the permissions. Then the 2FA, has it been requested or enabled? Yes or no, the two-factor authentication. Then what is the username, if they have been linked to the practitioner profile or not. So that's the information that can be visible from the user management list. And if you need to edit any information of the user profile, you can just click their name here or click the edit of their profile entry. And if you made any changes, click save. Once you've made a change to a user profile, that user needs to re-log in from their Zanda account to have that change implemented for them, for their session. Don't forget that. Because sometimes you've made the changes, the user continues working, they don't see that change. That's because they have to re-log in, because Zanda is an online tool, right? And for that change to be implemented, it has to be refreshed, reset on that machine for your practitioner, for your user. All right, so that's about user management. What else can be done? Let's have a look at the user settings tab here on the menu. Let's click on that. Some additional tools that you as a practice owner or the practice manager can enable. You can disable everything. It means that you are the master user. You can set up everything for your users, for your practitioners. But if your practitioners need some level of autonomy, you can allow them to access their default practitioner profile. We can enable that. If you don't know what this means, click on this I button, the information icon, and it will tell you what it does. So if you enable this permission, the practitioners will be able to access their practitioner profile and manage their practitioner settings, such as edit the insurance provider details, link to their own Stripe account, to their Zoom account, manage their availability, manage their show what services they offer online, show what times they offer online, and manage their Google Calendar sync and Outlook Calendar sync. Then, what else you can do? You can allow users to edit. So that's the kind of the additional level of permission. You can allow users to edit the availability for their default practitioner profile, and you can allow users to edit the available services for their default practitioner profile. Yeah, so the first step, you allow them to access their profile, and additional 2 steps allow them to access their availability settings and allow them to access their available services for online portal. And also another setting, you can allow users to assign practitioners to their clients. What this means, your practitioner can be the primary practitioner for the client, but if you work, if your practice is a multidisciplinary practice and one client can be in care of multiple practitioners, the primary practitioner can assign other practitioners also to be involved in the treatment plan, and they can assign additional practitioners to the client to access to their client profile, to write session notes, to have access to the clinical records of that client. So there is an additional permission for that. And it's up to you what level of access for that user, for that practitioner to have. So you can enable all of these or some of these settings and save the changes. So once you've done all of that, your practitioners will have these or some of those access depending on what you have set up. And now let me show you how that works. I am logged in as a practitioner with some of those access, and now you have enabled all of that. So when I log in here as a practitioner, let me return back to the calendar, and I am logged in as a practitioner here. So I click here on the business name of account, and you see, because you allowed to access the practitioner profile, I can actually access it here at the top. So when I click access to my practitioner profile, and I can manage my Zoom integration, I can manage my online payments through Stripe, I have access to available services. I can nominate which services I want to offer to my clients to book online, and I can manage my availability just because my practice manager have enabled everything for me. And the last user setting that we enabled, that allows a user to assign primary practitioners and users with access to client profiles. Let me show you how that works. So we are logged in as Samuel Lee, this practitioner. Let's now go into one of their primary clients, Amy. So we open the profile for Amy, and we go into the admin manage page. So here we see that Samuel is the primary practitioner. But let's say that Samuel finishes working with this client and I need to transfer the client to another practitioner who will continue care. So they can reset who will be the primary practitioner, for example, Mary. But it's a multidisciplinary clinic and another practitioner will also be involved in care, so they can add another assigned practitioner, for example, Matt. If there are other users who work in this clinic and they also need access to the clinical records of this client, they can also be selected here, and let's save the changes. That's all for now. I hope this has been useful. Stay with us for more tutorials and I will see you another time.